Hola, hello guys, this is Miss Kat from Casa de Paz. In this video, I want to share and discuss a little bit about what Montessori education is. And I will say education because it is an education system, but it's more than that. Montessori is a way of life. It's a framework for understanding human development from prenatal to death, really. Montessori schools can be found all over the world, and they can start as early as pregnancy care, infant programs, toddler, 3 to 6 year old programs, elementary, which is from 6 to 12 years old, and then middle school programs as well as high schools. Montessori is, again, a framework for understanding human development. Dr. Montessori was a scientist and pioneer, Italian, who taught us how to observe children and how to understand their needs and meet their needs by preparing an environment. Prior to that, most people thought children under the age of 6 just had the inability to learn or to be able to function in society and in a way that that they could relate to others. They were mostly like out of sight, and we don't want to see them or hear them right now. And Dr. Montessori was a pioneer who taught us that actually the young child under the age of 6 has a special mind, which she called the absorbent mind. They're so different from other stages of development. After 6, we no longer have that absorbent mind, and with each stage of development, we change and grow. And that special mind that children under age 6 have allows them to learn and absorb everything in their environment so that they can participate and become a member of the culture and society and family unit that they were born into. So Montessori education is so vast. You never stop learning it. There are training centers that train people to become Montessori teachers. There's an international training center, and then there's an American training center. There might be others. There's an accreditation program that does it as well to make sure that there's quality training for educators. And training is very important. Training is typically only for a certain age range or a certain developmental stage. So your child's guide, it should be trained in the specific developmental stage that they work with. So infant guides would have 0 to 3 training, as well as toddler guides. Primary is what we refer to as the 3 to 6 year olds. That's a different training. That child is so different from the 0 to 3 child. They have a very specialized different training for 3 to 6 year olds. Elementary teachers, the elementary child is a completely different being with a different type of brain. They have a different training. Adolescents have a different training, etc., etc. So the training is highly important. It's not one fits all. You can't just take elementary training and go into a toddler classroom. You have to be highly trained in that specific developmental stage. But as I mentioned, it's not just an educational approach. It's not just something that guides do in a Montessori classroom. And we usually call them environments, not classrooms. Montessori is an understanding of human development. It's a respect for humans of all ages, specifically young children. We have this reverence and respect for this young child because they are the creators of mankind. They are the ones that will lead the next generation. Montessori is learning how to observe and understand human development. And the goal of the Montessorian is to prepare themselves and their environment to meet the needs of the child. Now, what I mean by that is when we prepare ourselves, we have to be emotionally, physically, and mentally healthy to work with children. Children need happy, engaging, healthy adults that can handle stressful situations, that can handle tantrums, that can handle mistakes adults that are going to model what they want to see developed in their children. So it is important that we are always working on ourselves, on our health, so that we have stamina to engage, to sing, to have fun. Children need us to be loving and fun and engaging and welcoming. Otherwise, it's really hard to engage children to want to connect with their beautiful prepared environments if we ourselves as the adult are not engaging or excited or not really interested or into the activity or our environment. Then the children will also not be very excited or interested. So we really have to get into that mindset and understand that we are the most influential aspect of the environment of our children's lives, and they need us to be well. And so then, as we're working on ourselves and making sure that we're present for our children, modeling what we want to see in them, we also prepare a physical environment. So compared to traditional education, Montessori education is more of an indirect approach. We don't stand and lecture or teach a concept to an entire group of students. We prepare a physical environment that has material that are autodidactic, that children can engage with to learn for themselves. Children under the age of 6 need repetition, sensorial exploration, and they need freedom to move, to choose, and uninterrupted time to practice executive functioning, to practice making choices, completing an activity, finishing it through, and putting it away. So this is how we prepare an environment that allows for an environment that allows for movement, all types of movement, that allows for social interaction, that allows for practical life skills. So as adults, we have a lot of work to do, a lot of learning to do, but it's so beautiful and meaningful. And when we prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally to meet the needs of children to become independent, to develop at their own pace, it is very rewarding. In the next video, I'm going to share a little bit more about other ways to engage children, to prepare an environment at home, ways that you can help at home, and also explain what Montessori is not, because I hear a lot of misconceptions about what it is not.